Aren't you too busy with the Red Triangle Circus Gang and Oswald Cobblepot to get romantically involved with someone anyway? Unless you're the type that's attracted to drama. Is that it? Well, not me. I prefer a drama-free girl and zone to park that relationship in. But you? Okay, I can see how that can make someone more attractive in a way, if you like the whole mysterious angle. But when it comes to Selena, I would RSVP in the resoundingly negative, if you get my drift. She's trouble. But like they say, Bruce, to each his own. And sometimes it's hard to say no. I get that. She's just got something that gets you real deep down and gets your gears moving. Like in that one movie about Mary. And maybe she makes you feel like anything is possible. Like there's more to this world than what you see. Or maybe, like for you, Bruce, it's seeing the reflection of yourself in her. And misery loves company? Because it can get lonely living on the outside. I get it. You just wish you had someone to share your exile with. Maybe with someone that finally understands you, not just feels sorry for you. And that's someone that feels the same kind of pain as you do, not Vicki Vale. She never danced with the devil in the pale moonlight. She only watched the scene from the balcony. She didn't get you. She never could. But maybe Selena has that chance. That's what you're thinking, isn't it? Maybe like when you multiply two negatives, it makes a positive? God, I hate math. If you don't learn from the past, then you're doomed to repeat it. You know that old saying. So that being said, maybe I'm not the best person to be giving advice here, Bruce, because I've made my fair share of mistakes.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
And some of those mistakes were in matters of love, and were more or less of the same dysfunction. My own stupidity? I'd go into it thinking things would be different, but it would always end up the same. And isn't that the definition of insanity?
I'm insane!
Don't be dumb like me, Bruce. I want so much more for you, so I can, vicariously live through you. But I don't want to see you get your heart broken again, because it's like my heart breaks along with it. But okay, enough of that, Bruce. There's no stopping love. It's humanity's greatest superpower. But paradoxically, it's also its greatest weakness. It's like your kryptonite. We and you can fall into love as easily and willingly as milk gets dumped onto cereal, even though we know where it might lead. Sogginess. And I don't want you to have to eat that, Bruce. But look at her. The possibility is just too great to ignore, isn't it? I can see it in your eyes on that street corner as you first see her. You're intrigued. But there's something else behind those glasses. She's not all that she seems. Kind of like you, right? Her wants and her needs, her anger and her vengeance. It's all tucked away neatly into the creases of that nervous smile. If unleashed, she'd be like a wrecking ball. But that destruction is born of passion, and that's the good stuff. Maybe you can help her control it. That's probably what you're thinking. That's what I'd be thinking. Possible? Maybe. That is, if you don't let yourself get overwhelmed by it. Oh no, Bruce, come on! She flipped the script on us, but pull yourself together. She's swinging that wrecking ball already. Bruce, look out for... So who are you, Selena? I know you're not all that you seem, that maybe there's something slippery hiding just underneath the surface, but that hidden duality does make you interesting, though. Just like you, Batman. And I think that connects to a lot of us, too, and that we tend to hide the bulk of ourselves from the world, and what's underneath all that can be overwhelming and dangerous if you get too close too fast. But that is under the waterline. That's the stuff that comes later. The first thing we always see is what's on top. And when it comes to Selena's surface, I think I can feel a pull of the attraction too. There's something men like on her surface. She's a damsel in sort of distress. And us getting to be that hero that rescues the girl from the fire, or in this case from the corporate thumb of Max Schreck, is something that's been in our imagination since we were kids. Getting a chance to do that makes us feel strong, large, and in charge. There's something primal about it. It shows strength and virility. But in the modern world of the internet and so-called civility, that instinct can feel really antiquated sometimes. But it's kind of baked into our DNA at this point, and I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. But isn't that kind of what your costume and whole aura is all about? To show strength and strike fear into other men? Women love that take charge approach combined with the elusive, mysterious angle. You know, like Twilight? Hey, it really worked on Vicki. She was way into you. And it really works with Dr. Chase Meridian later. But that's another story. Selena is different though. She doesn't seem as impressed with you, does she? At least not until after Shrek flips her switch to permanent midnight. Then it's like you're the one who's had the rug pulled out from under them, or swept off your feet, not to mix metaphors. You're the one doing the chasing now, wondering just how deep the darkness goes.
Dude, this is a totally deep hole.
You've seen women like this before, haven't you, Bruce? They may not be the easiest to spot, though, because their true motives themselves are always lurking in the shadows. But in film noir, you can nearly always count on one popping up somewhere. They're seductive, alluring, mysterious, and of course, they have their own dark side. Just like a certain someone. This movie is very much film noir, or neo-noir, what have you. Noir is noir in my book, but basically, the tone is downbeat, and the mood is dark, and most people are up to no good with clear and not always clear motives, and they're all too willing to stab each other in the back to get what they want. But at the center of it all is the femme fatale, the fatal woman, who attracts and catches men that get too close, usually with carnal temptations. Even the trademark detective. You're never quite sure of what she wants or if she means what she says. Does she like me for me? Or is there something more going on here? Most of the time, it's something more, and she won't be compromised, nor will she play fair to get what she wants. Now, when it comes to Catwoman, she's got a bone to pick. And in an act of dramatic irony, she chooses to cloak herself in the emblem of her target. Now, why Max Schreck has a cat's head as the literal face of his company, I have no clue, but it works in the context of this story. With this scene acting as a sort of scaled version of how she sees her former self and what she wants to do with the man that hurt her. She wants revenge. But unlike you, Bruce, it's completely raw, untempered, and explosive. About that, is it really such a good idea to be so much like the person you might love?
Split right down the center.
I mean, think about it. It's good to like yourself, but too much of something can also be a bad thing. I think the Spice Girls have a song like that. I'm really curious to hear everyone's perspectives on this.
Yeah.
For me, obviously, I don't think it's a good idea at all. And actually, there's a Seinfeld episode that poses a very similar question when Jerry falls for a woman that is practically just the female version of himself, but slowly he comes to resent her, as all the things he starts to notice about her are all the things he doesn't like in himself, which turns out to be a lot.
I can't be with someone like me! I hate myself!
But even if you don't like yourself a whole lot, I think there's still a degree of finding some value in yourself for the sheer fact that you feel unique. Maybe you feel screwed up, but there's no one else screwed up quite like you. With a doppelganger hanging around, that feeling just goes right out the window. So can't you imagine the course of the relationship in your mind and the ultimate bitter end? So why live through it? Couldn't this be a situation where logic and reason tell passion to take a hike? Don't be like the characters at the end of Eternal Sunshine and opt into an already doomed relationship just because they make you feel all warm and gooey inside. Resistance is not futile. Don't give it a... Oh. Well, I understand. Maybe you both just need to feel it for yourself, like some roads. The only way you can tell how rocky the road will be is to walk down that road. Oh, or maybe not. You see, Bruce, this is what I was talking about. She has her own needs. And right now, she really needs to kill Max Schreck. And it has nothing to do with you. But she might sacrifice you to make that happen. You just can't be too sure. And that's the thing. You can never be sure. You would always be waiting for the other shoe to drop. And that uncertainty would just drive you nuts. Oh my God. Oh! But that has more to do with her being a femme fatale. I still think being too much alike is the prevailing problem. In my experience, being complementary with the other person lent to a far more lasting and fulfilling relationship or friendship. And those differences that we had felt like a contrast that was like opposing colors on a color wheel, brightening each other with their difference. And I don't mean to simplify it too much here, it's much more nuanced than that, with the facets of one person and another kind of being like edges of puzzle pieces. Not all will fit together in the exact same way. Some won't even get close. Or maybe it could feel like a new pair of underwear. At first, it's constrictive, but then it becomes a part of you. It can be hard, Bruce, no doubt, but you'll find that right puzzle piece that fits your grooves. Don't give up. Like I said, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Or if you don't like that website, there's maybe eHarmony or maybe OkCupid.